Owners of small to mid-sized companies across a variety of industries throughout the Bay Area. All offers of credit are subject to credit approval. Western Alliance Bank, member FDIC, is an SBA preferred lender, offering government-backed SBA 7A and SBA 504 loans. All offers of credit are subject to credit approval.
This day in Giant hamburger history. It's the bottom of the seventh. The score is 10-9. 1 on, 2 out, a 3-2 count. 12-year-old Darren Foster hurls a fastball in the direction of his twin brother Daniel, and with one swing of the bat, the game is over. Next stop, Nations, where both teams and families meet up for post-game Giant hamburgers and pie. Now that's what I call a win-win. Keep it real. Make it Nations.
Talking baseball, the Giants by the bay.
Seam heads, our Giants game day coverage begins now.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Talkin' Baseball.
So before gloves start popping,
diving stands up, throws to first, and he got him at first.
And bats start cracking.
Well hit, way back there. Adios!
We bring you the voice of Bay Area baseball for over 30 years.
That's what we do. We talk ball.
This is Talkin' Baseball with Marty Lurie.
It's great to have everyone back with us
on the Sports Leader.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talkin' Baseball on this beautiful Sunday here in the Bay Area as we get ready for the third game between the Giants and the Chicago Cubs at historic Wrigley Field. This has been quite a road trip for the Giants. It really has. It's been amazing with all the runs they're scoring and home runs they're hitting and all that going on. And there have been some heartbreaking losses along the way. So the Giants, as they sit here right now on the road trip, are 4-5. They lost 2 of 3 in Colorado. They split the 4 in Milwaukee after losing the first 2. And then Friday just went wild against the Chicago Cubs and Gary Pettis, the new third base coach, his first day, as they scored 18 runs, and they had Schmidt and Adames and Chapman hitting 2 homers each. My goodness. You can go back to 1956 for Willie Mays, Darrell Spencer, and Wes Westrom, the last time that happened. And then again yesterday, heartbreaking loss, 3-2 to the Cubs in 10 innings. As Pete Crow Armstrong, with 2 out in the 9th inning, Cubs down to their last strike, hit 1 out against Wynn, and the splitter was over the plate, and that tied the game up at 2-2, and then the Giants lost it in the bottom of the 10th when they couldn't score in the top of the 10th, and you've just got to be able to push that one run across, and they couldn't do it. And the Cubs get the win in the bottom of the 10th, 3-2 over the Giants yesterday. Rafael Devers, big home run for him, put the Giants up 1-0. Giants played a little ball and changed the defense around, which eventually cost them a little bit in that extra inning when they lost their DH because of defensive purposes, but I understand why. The professor will talk to us about that. And then the Giants lose it in the bottom of the 10th, as I said, 3-2. To the Cubs yesterday. So the Cubs now are 7-19 in their last 26 games. This is a team that won 10 in a row twice and then ended up losing 8 in a row. They were great at home, and all of a sudden they couldn't win at home. And it's been a very frustrating year for the Cubs, I think. Suzuki, their big acquisition, is last in the majors in hitting with runners in scoring position. Bregman, the big free agent pickup, is not doing much. Happ, as we learned yesterday, is not hitting very much from the right side. And then Dansby Swanson, they even benched yesterday a couple of days to kind of clear his head because he's hitting under 200. So it's been quite a trip for the Giants, and now they play the Cubs again, trying to win this series here. It is a contest day for us. If you want to get dinner for two at Original Joe's, just tweet in at Baseball Marty the score of today's game, and Raf also picks out a random contestant for dinner at Soto Mare. So that's coming up as well. So we've got that going on. Matt Chapman is having a big road trip. It's nice to see it. He had 8 RBIs on Friday. He had a big sacrifice fly yesterday to drive in that second run. Good for him. The Giants in June now are 3-3. As I said on the trip, they're 4-5 as they try to even it up today. Against the Central, they're 6-6 and 26-39, 13 games under. And as I said, you can't talk about anything until you get to 500, and that you can't go backwards. The Giants are playing better ball. Believe me, they're playing better ball. Starting pitching is getting a little bit better. Bullpen is still a real mystery here. The Giants are desperate for someone to be that closer and get it done. But they're 26-39. That's 65 games. They've got 97 more, and a lot more can happen when you look at this particular league, the way they're set up. Today's matchup, it's a good matchup, I think, for the Giants. Trevor McDonald, 25 years old, goes for the Giants today. He's 2-3 with a .450 earned run average. The whip is outstanding, 1.15. 6 games, 34 innings. So he's close to 6 innings a start. Only 30 hits, only 3 homers given up, 9 walks, and 31 strikeouts. For him, lefties 284 with 3 homers, righties 172. So the Cubs will load up that Michael Busch and company, I'm sure, from the left side today, and Pete Crow Armstrong. They're going to have to deal with him. Runners in scoring position, 7 for 30. Runners in scoring position, 2 out, 2 for 13. So McDonald gets it done when he has to. But I think the telling sign, first time through the order, 140, then 271, then 300. So they do get to him eventually. Conforto, the only one on the Cubs who's ever seen him, and he's gone 1 for 3. Now, the big story, I think, today will be the Cubs pitcher, Jameson Taillon. 34 years old. He's 2-5 on the year with a .513 earned run average. The whip is 1.26. At home in 6 games, 33 innings pitched, 32 hits, and 8 homers given up. But the big number, 12 games for him, 66 innings. He's a veteran, 63 hits, 38 runs, 20 home runs. He's given up the most home runs in the big leagues, and he's signed a big contract with the Cubs. 21 walks, 57 strikeouts, so you can get near him, and he will put you on base eventually if you wait him out. Adames, 3 for 20 with a homer. Arise, 3 for 15. Chapman, 1 for 17 with a homer, so he's handled them. Devers, 4 for 13 with 2 homers. He's been around Pittsburgh, the Yankees, Cubs. He's 84-65 lifetime, and he's got a big contract, but it's Jameson Taillon, Trevor McDonald, and Taillon with those 20 homers just looms large for me today to see if the Giants can make that happen and continue this little surge they've got going with the bats. Defensively, it's been nice to see Devers at first. Chapman's done his job. Schmidt's done a good job in the outfield. The big story, of course, is Jung-Ho Lee and the way he's hitting. He's bringing back names like Bill Terry, who played in the 1930s for the Giants. The last time someone got that many hits in so many games. So Lee has been fabulous. And, of course, Arise, as I'll say in the show today, every time he comes up, I think he's going to get a hit. So that's what we got going on. Today we've got a good show for you. The professor's going to join us. We've got Mark Simon. We've got Bruce Jenkins. The weather in Chicago, you never know how it's going to be. If the wind is blowing out, watch out. If it's blowing in, it could be a tight game, but we'll see how that goes. It's a good slate today in baseball. The Dodgers and Angels are going to be playing, and we'll fill you in on all those scores. The Reds get Red Lauder back today. The Phillies have Nola going today against the White Sox. They're doing a good job there. And Washington, believe it or not, they're coming in next. Washington coming in next, and the Cubs next weekend. Washington just took 2 straight from Arizona, and we'll fill you in on that score. That is Cavalli today in Soroka. But Washington scores runs, and this James Wood, again, just going wild. But C.J. Abrams is another one. So we got good baseball coming up. Good baseball. In the last 7 games, the Giants are 4-3. And I'll tell you, they're hitting the ball, and there's still 97 games to go. And this is still a very mediocre National League, so we'll see what happens. All right, more coming up. KMBR 680, 104.5, the sports leader.
Talking baseball with Marty Lurie on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Gene Bagato checked in from up at the Tides in Bodega Bay, and he was very happy to report that their new concept, Sea and Sun Seafood Grill, is open and ready to go. While the Wharf restaurant continues to serve the traditional favorites like fried calamari and clam chowder, Sea and Sons offers a new twist with items such as gluten-free fish tacos made with the freshest rockfish available and San Francisco-style smoked salmon cured on the premises. Sandwich offerings include not only crab and shrimp, but also New England lobster rolls. And if you like oysters, Sea and Sons offers the finest in both barbecue and raw and the half-shell options. Then, to top it all off, if that's not enough, there's soft-serve ice cream with both chocolate and vanilla to round out your meal. And if you're looking to stay for a while, just across Highway 1, the Inn at the Tides awaits with its large, comfortable rooms, all with bay views. So with summer here and the weather warming up, you need to look no further than the Tides Wharf and the Inn at the Tides in scenic Bodega Bay. It's the bottom of the first, bases are loaded, and you're stuck in a lunch meeting. Original Joe's to the rescue. We'll bring the best of our menu to your office so you can secretly keep track of the Giants on your phone. Go to originaljoessf.com to learn more. Original Joe's, your lunch meeting just got better.
Time now to go to Sunday school with the professor.
Hey, Professor, take it easy, will you?
Giants coach Ron Wotus with Marty Lurie.
I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper.
On your home of Giants baseball.
Good answer. I like the way you think.
KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Brought to you by River Islands, one of the country's top-selling master plan communities just across the Altamont in Lathrop. Where else can you live on a lake next door to a park or walking distance to your kid's new school? With 10 new neighborhoods, River Islands is the one place you can't afford to miss.
All right, great to have you back with us as we get ready for Giants baseball. It's nice to be in the studio. The first time I'm in the studio since 2019 when I used to do the post-game show in those days. But it's nice to be back up here from Arizona for graduation yesterday of my granddaughter, Ruby Barmay, from high school. And the other grandkids, Stella, Lolly, Noah were there. So nice to be up here and nice to see Raph. I've got Aaron, my son, in the studio as well. And we got the professor at Wrigley Field. So, whoa, how are you?
Doing well, Marty. Sounds like you had a pretty good day yesterday. Happy to hear that. And I'll say hello to Aaron as well, since he's in there with you. I'm hoping he'll take some calls today.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. You could say hi to Woe.
Hey, Woe. Good to see you out there. Hope everything's going well.
It is. Thank you very much.
Hey, he was my engineer when he was 7 years old, Woe. That's when he started.
Was he really?
Yep. Back
Oh,
in
that's
1996.
96. Well, he has experience then. He's not going to forget how to do that. So that's good that he's there with you, Marty. Just in case, at our age, we gotta remember how to do things.
Tell me about it. He's looking at Raph. So we got Raph here. This is like the old days for me. This is like when I used to be on like for 12 hours. This is it's kind of nice. I like it. But let's get to you. What a week for you. What a season for you, Woe. And you're back off the coaching lines, but thinking back to spring training, the way it started to where we are today, what a season for you. How about that?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it started with the WBC. I never expected to be out of spring training for 3 weeks. Team Italy wasn't expected to do anything, and here we go. We go down to the semifinals before we lose. So I missed a lot of spring training. I was disappointed, but it was a fun run. And then, being on the field and in the dugout again when Tony asked me if I would stay in the dugout. And that's been fun. The one thing I learned about being in the dugout, and of course, coaching third this last week and then getting the 4 games for Borgie when he had a death in the family. I missed the competition. It's special to be out on a major league field and to be able to compete against the other team. And the competition is really what drives most of us. And I miss it. And I really enjoyed my time on the field.
Well, you didn't have many tough calls. I mean, the team started hitting home runs like crazy. All you had to do was perfect the handshake, right?
That's right. I told them, look, I'm not going to hand off the football. I'm not going to jump. I'm not going to jump up in the air. And, and so we kind of evolved on the handshakes as it went. And, the thing for me that was probably where I spent my most time, and the best thing I did is I devised a home run and a grand slam sign. And I used it as much as I possibly could. And there we go. We had 4 grand slams and we hit homers. And I thought I was doing something special. And then Gary Pettis comes out here. His first game, he gets a grand slam and 7 homers. So he's just a show-off, this guy. That's what he is.
Well, let's talk about Gary Pettis a little bit. Well, you've known him for a long time. He's from the Bay Area. Great guy. I've interviewed him on the show years ago. He's worked with Dusty. He's worked with Wash. Talk about Gary Pettis a little bit.
Well, first off, we played against each other back in the PCL. Back in 80s in the late 80s, and he was in Edmonton and I was in Hawaii, and I've always seen him and crossed paths throughout the playing career. But then he had a long extensive extensive career in the major leagues as a tremendous outfielder, fundamentally sound. And then, of course, we reconnected when he started coaching for the people that you had mentioned. And, it's great that we have him. He's really going to help this club. He brings so much experience and knowledge to the game and, simple stuff. So we're very fortunate to have Gary, and I think he's going to help, change the attitude in the base running a little bit to be a little more assertive and take a few more chances. Just the time I've been around him here for the last week has been a lot of fun for me as well.
Well, you had a little bit of action on the bases yesterday with Lee. He finally got a couple of steals. He's got going, and then you got the new bullet, Jonah Cox. How about him?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been a while since we've had those weapons at the bottom of the order. It felt like, we had a few options there to do things. And one, you mentioned, Darren Ford, the old bullet, but now Jonah Cox. They popped him out there in the key situation, first and third in the tie game, and he took off first pitch. He studied the pitchers. He knew what he needed to do, and his speed can change a game. Of course, in a close game, which we play a lot of, and at home especially, is going to be a real weapon. So he's swinging the bat good too. Look, he started off hot, and I think his presence here on the club gives us another dimension that we didn't have. And then Jay Lee got his first stolen base yesterday as well. Now he did take off 6 or 7 times, but there were foul balls. But that was his first stolen base of the year, and that was good to see as well.
Well, what did you think of the defensive switch where you guys ended up losing the DH? Now, it came back a little bit to bite you when, of course, you didn't have the DH to come up in Schmidt's spot, and Buddy Kennedy was in there to pinch hit as well. But take us through that move and why that move was made.
Sure. Well, first off, you're on the road, so you have to try to score a run because the home team has last at-bats. And here we are in the bottom of the eighth, and that was our opportunity after the double is to try to push a run across. And, as soon as the runner got to third, it was first and third, it was a no-brainer. Jace got Coxie out there to first base, which changed the inning as well, stealing the base. And now the infield has to play in. So we discussed it a little bit. He's been real good to me and using me as a sounding board here and there. He knows what he's doing, but it's nice to have someone else thinking along because things happen fast, especially with the clock. So anyways, we scored the 1 run. It would have been nice to score more, but we scored the one run. And now they only have 3 outs left, so we have to think about defense. So we went for the offense when we needed the offense. And you don't want to worry about scoring more runs when there's only 3 outs left in the game. Mm-hmm. You want to put your best defense on the field. And that was not with Casey Schmidt and left. It was with Jonah Cox, who went into the DH. So, it was a no-brainer for us to put Cox into the outfield, put the pitcher in Casey Schmidt's spot. Now, once they tied the game, as you said, it bit us a little bit because Schmidt didn't get the hit. But you don't want to hold back and have a weaker defense, end up losing the game because you got your weaker defense on the field worrying about offense when you need to stop the other team. So that's how that played out.
All right. Tough park, that Wrigley Field. You never know what you're going to get there. Winds coming in, winds going out. You must have had experiences over all these years at Wrigley. What comes to mind for you coming back to Wrigley?
Well, I guess one of the most vivid memories I have is it was my first year in the league, and I was coaching third, and we came back here to play a 1-game playoff game in 1998. And Harry Carey had just passed recently, and it was a night game, and they had the ghost of Harry Carey, a big balloon out in left field. It was just a tremendous night, us against the Cubs to see who was going to advance for the playoffs. That's one thing. Of course, we had the infamous 2-hour rain delay where it never rained. Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
That wasn't very good. That wasn't fun. But I think the thing about Wrigley is it's always energetic. The fans, the atmosphere is wonderful. You can't get a better atmosphere in baseball, and I think everybody loves the old feel of the ballpark. And you can look up in the stands and you can almost see guys in top hats and suits, clapping, standing on your feet like you did 50 years ago at this ballpark. So it's a beautiful place. And of course they fixed the facilities here. Marty, the clubhouse was tiny. The dugout was terrible. They fixed all that. They added a big screen in left center field. The field is wonderful. It used to be so crowned in the middle of the field that when you were in the dugout and you were so low, you couldn't even barely see the fielders. You wouldn't see their feet. It was a big crown. So it's been improved dramatically over the course of the years. And this is the best I've seen, the best shape I've seen the field in here on this trip in. It looks wonderful.
Yeah, any game you watch from Wrigley always brings back some sort of memory. I keep thinking of people stealing the hats from the guys who used to sit in the bullpen. How about that?
Oh, right. That's right. Well, the bullpens are now underneath. They made some nice bullpens underneath. And I think the players miss it being on the side here because the fans, I'm sitting there right now. I'm sitting on the tarp talking to you. And the bullpen, the fans are like 4 feet from the players right there. So they can reach out and steal whatever they want or trade a hot dog for a ball. All the old tricks of the players don't get to do anymore because they're underneath in the right center field wall and they're pretty much isolated out there. But it's much more comfortable. They have TVs. They can watch the game. Of course, they have a view of the field too. But it gives them a lot better preparation than sitting here basically in the front row on the side of the field.
Yeah, I loved it. I love going to Wrigley. It was fun to go there. Well, weather is always an issue. Raph is our resident weatherman. He's looking it up and seeing clouds and this and that. What's the weather like there? Is it blowing in, blowing out? What's it like?
Well, right now it's blowing in, but wait 5 minutes, right? And it could be blowing out. The wind was kicking up pretty good last night, and that's a tough thing for the infielders here. The outfielders. Casey Schmidt hasn't been out there. It was all a concern for us, that wind changes too. So, the outfield coaches did a good job, Shane Robinson and Chase, telling the outfielders, hey, this wind can change at any moment. You got to keep throwing up grass. You have to keep, adjusting to the conditions on your depth in the outfield. And, right now there's high clouds. They don't look like rain clouds. They're not calling for any rain. So Marty, I've learned one thing in my career. You can't trust the weatherman 100%. So we'll see what happens.
All right. That's why we got Raph as our weatherman here. Yeah, he can handle it. Yeah, good job, Raph. All right. Raph is thumbs up. Well, this ball club had a big, exciting moment. Webb almost pitched a perfect game, almost pitched a no-hitter. That's about as far as I've ever seen him go without giving up a hit. Now, you're coaching and you're on the sidelines and that. Are you one of those superstitious guys or do you talk about it?
Oh, no. Look, I think everybody's, knows that you don't bring it up. And nobody did. Webb told me after the game, that was the furthest he went without giving up a hit. He hasn't gone past the 5th inning, which is really surprising to me, without giving up a hit. He's never done it. So going into the 7th was special for him in that moment. But as you said, Marty, I heard no discussion of it. And I think if he got through that 7th without a hit, you would have seen a lot more people looking at each other, but not saying a word, right? And also you would have seen a defensive chain. I'm sure Casey Schmidt would have been out. You would have seen the new bullet, Jonah Cox, in there for defense. We did that a number of times with Boch. We took out the defense early because to get a no-hitter or a perfect game, it's such a special moment for the player, and you want to make sure you have the right personnel on the field if he has an opportunity to do that. And sometimes it affects winning the game because you really want to see the individual accomplish that feat because it's so rare in the game of baseball.
Oh, how about Arias at third, going backwards to save Kane? How about that one? To save the perfect. That almost drove me crazy.
Well, my heart ended up in my stomach when he took a step back. And fortunate for him, he has a strong arm to throw flat-footed like that, and he made a strong, perfect throw across. The other time my heart sank was in Kansas City when we were kicking the ball around in left field, and then the relay throw came in and it short top Craw. Yeah. And fortunately, Craw's a Gold Glover, and he picked it. But if that ball bounces away from him, Gordon scores, and it's definitely a different. It may not have been a different outcome, but it certainly wouldn't have been the same as it turned out.
Boy, that's baseball. That is baseball. Well, as we wrap it up with you, I know the game is coming up, and we got to go. But Eldridge looks better every single day, and Arise, every time he gets a bat in his hand, I think he's going to get a hit.
I'm with you. He's the guy you want at the plate. You know he's going to put the ball in play, and you put the ball in play, good things happen. And he uses the whole field. They throw him that breaking ball, and they're all playing around the left field and in shallow, and they throw him that breaking ball, and he pulls it down the line to right or in the gap. So he's a real pleasure to have on the club. I'm with you 100% on that. He's out here right now doing his drills and getting ready for the game. So he's always ready. He's always ready to play.
How about the big guy?
The big guy, you're exactly right. What a story he is. He's, I can see the confidence coming every day. He's more and more confident. I mean, he had a heck of a series in Colorado and in Milwaukee, and you could see how that boosts his confidence, not only at the plate, but that carries over into the field. Now, he's not playing in the field, but in his workouts and his fielding drills, you could see him catching the ball with much more confidence. And that's why hitting's so important for players to feel good, because it affects your whole game. When you're feeling good about what you're doing at the plate. And when you're not swinging the bat, it affects your whole game as well, because you're more concerned about getting hits than you are the rest of your game. So he's doing really, really well. It's real good to see.
Oh, very good. Well, River Islands, just to mention it before we get off, when I listen to the spot, it's incredible to me how many neighborhoods they have. It's a little city unto itself. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. And the choices that you have in that area for homes, we've talked about that. I mean, they have everything, and they continue to grow. I think they're one of the fastest growing communities. They've been leading the way for years now. So, a wonderful place. I know a couple of people that are moving up there too, Marty, from the Bay Area. They're excited to hear your spots, and they want to go up there. So, it's a nice place. If you haven't checked it out, people ought to go check it out.
I love it. All right, look forward to seeing you, and I appreciate having you on. And back in the dugout, you can relax now a little bit and take it easy. Good job, Will. You had a good season so far.
All right, Marty. Thank you very much. Good being with you.
All right. More coming up. KNBR 680 1045, the sports leader.
Talking baseball with Marty Lurie on KNBR 1045 and 680, the sports leader.
Fans, it's great to have Rick Robin back with us. He is the Contractor of the Year in Napa for the second year in a row, and of course specializing in home projects. And what makes it special is you get it done and you remain friends with your clients afterwards, because it is never simple getting home repairs. But how do you do it?
Well, it's a pretty simple process. You call in to speak to Tammy. I come out the very next day, and if you like the estimate, we take it down to our showroom, meet our designer. She puts everything together, sends you color rendering so you know exactly what your product's going to look like, and as soon as the material's in the warehouse, we start.
There's a second part of what you're doing now, and that's home inspections. Everyone in real estate, you buy or sell a home, you need a home inspection. You're doing that, and plus, if there's work to be done, you can do it for them.
Yeah, we come out and do your home inspection that day, send you a detailed copy, and then also I put my contractor's hat on and write you a detailed estimate of what the work will cost.
Boy, I love it. Rick Robin, Robben. Rick, how does someone get in touch with you?
You call Tammy at 707-332-7575, 7 days a week.
Hey there, it's Marty Lurie with a report from River Islands in Lathrop, where the good life can be your life. The home selection has never been better, with neighborhoods designed to fit a wide range of lifestyles. Whatever is on your list of musts, an amazing kitchen, a home gym, a private office, or a separate suite for your in-laws, there's a place here just for you. Priced from the low 600,000s to over $1 million. The town center, located by Islanders Field Ballpark, is well underway, with the Redwood Cafe opening this summer and a community amphitheater being built for events, concerts, and community get-togethers. Sutter Health, listen to this, is building medical offices, and a major grocery store will be announced soon. The town center will be a great place to enjoy the River Islands lifestyle. Then there's everything around your home: lakes, parks, and trails. The San Joaquin River and the Lakeview Club at Del Webb's 55-plus community just had its debut. Construction is moving along for the 4th K-8 charter school. Wow. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands? Check it out at riverislands.com.
Mark Simon, the information wizard from Sports Info Solutions. Mark, I love you, man.
All right, you know what that song means. That means that Mark Simon is with us of Sports Info Solutions, and always glad to have Mark to talk some ball with him on a Sunday. Mark, how are you?
I'm good. I'm rounding third and heading for home like a lot of Giants did this past week. The end of the week, looking forward to it and looking forward to talking to you here.
Well, let's talk about the Giants offense here, because it has become a baseball story, not only with the grand slams, but up and down the lineup they're hitting, and they've got a couple of guys contending for the batting title. So let's talk a little Giants offense.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy this past week with the double-digit run scored games, the big hit outbursts. I think it's a reminder of a couple of things. One, that you're never as bad as your worst day, and you're never as good as your best day. And two, I do want to play a little pun here, that for much of the season, the Giants offense was much ado about nothing. But more recently, the Giants offense has been a Midsummer Night's Dream. We have a Shakespeare Festival in town, so I figure that that's appropriate. It's been great. Chapman finally hitting. Nice to see him hitting some home runs. Jung-Hoo Lee going crazy with a streak like nobody has, basically, in terms, I think it was like 23 of 39 or something ridiculous like that. My favorite thing, though, was that the bottom of the order, the 7 through 9 hitters, basically turned into murderer's row for a week, where every game they were driving in a whole bunch of runs. I think over the last 9, they've averaged 3 RBIs per game, which is essentially an RBI per guy out of the 7, 8, and 9 spots in the lineup. And that's impressive when they're able to get that kind of production. I think the most pertinent thing offense-wise is that Bryce Eldridge looks like a real player now. And I think that's really good to see as well.
Boy, looking at the Giants and the division, look at San Diego, what's happened with them. And Arizona all of a sudden runs into Washington, where the Giants are going to see Washington this week. Let's talk a little bit about the West right now, what's going on there.
Yeah, this is the Giants' chance to make a move right here. 26 and 39. It is a very, very, very uphill climb. But the Padres are really sputtering. They got a win yesterday when the guy with the lowest batting average in baseball hit a home run to win the game, which was a little surprising. And the Diamondbacks, you mentioned it, they've gotten drubbed by Washington the last 2 days. The Giants are 8 back of the Padres, 7.5 back of the Diamondbacks. I guess I would say call me when they're like 3 back. They got a little ways to go to get that close, but certainly encouraging signs. And beyond the offense, what Logan Webb did in his first start back, in his return, essentially, was terrific. And if the Giants can get more of that and can get better from Robbie Ray and can get better from Landon Roop and can keep the offense going and can lots of and cans, maybe they can get back in this thing a little bit.
I know it's the if factor, and I've talked about that for years. If you have too many ifs, they're going to weigh you down. But the way this league has been going, and there's so many players that are struggling, it's one of those strange years where the pitching is really dominated. Milwaukee impressed me with their pitching. And the Giants didn't see Mizorowski. They did see, of course, Kyle Harrison, the Brewers. And then after that, the Brewers became very ordinary. And I thought that was interesting because the Central looks like is going to be the competition in this wild card.
Yes, for sure. Brewers, had the 2 losses against the Giants to end the series. They catch a break. They play the Rockies next, and it works out for them there, and they have their ace going. But yeah, the Central is definitely where it's at. And I know you're wondering, and probably the audience is wondering, why the Cubs are 34-31. And I think if you look at it, for a team that has as good of a defense as the Cubs do, they should not allow as many runs as the Cubs have been allowing, and that's on the pitching staff. Imanaga, 4.7 ERA. Tyon, tonight, 5 ERA. Ray, 4.6. Cabrera, 5 ERA. Boyd, who was hurt, 6 ERA. That's why Ben Brown has been so important for them, and they got good from him yesterday. But their starting pitching is lacking. I know Flem and Hunter have talked about the offense underachieving a little bit. I actually think they're going to be fine on offense once Bregman starts to hit a little bit, once some of their other guys start to hit a little bit. But with regards to the Central, yes, Central's where it's at. It wouldn't surprise me if the wild card grouping had at least 2 Central teams.
Well, the Reds get Rhett Lauder back today, and they're talking about Hunter Green maybe around the All-Star break or shortly thereafter. Then you put Burns in there with Abbott. You have him in there. It's not a bad rotation with Lodolo as well. I think the Reds are the team to watch. I truly believe the Reds can overtake the Pirates, can overtake the Cubs, can eventually get the Cardinals, and the Brewers have those 2 aces right now. And they're not going to get, looks like Woodruff is still banged up a little bit, so he's not going to come back right away. They don't hit home runs, the Brewers, which we saw in the series. So for me, once Ellie De La Cruz comes back and you get that rotation for the Reds, if they can get anything out of the bullpen, the Reds, for me, that's the team to watch.
Cool. I will take the Cubs for now. I think they will have a push forward. I think, and I'm saying that with the idea that the Brewers could certainly win the division, but that it wouldn't surprise me if the Cubs were to beat them in the postseason.
All right. Well, they could. Suzuki, how about him? I saw a note from Bill Madden the other day that Suzuki is last in baseball and with runners in scoring position. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy that he's got 21 RBIs in 51 games for a guy that's a middle of the lineup hitter. And that actually is having a decent offensive season, but yeah.
Yeah, without Pete Crow Armstrong, look, Swanson's hitting 180. Without Crow Armstrong, PCA as they call him, the Cubs are not a very exciting team right now, and the Giants have a shot today to beat a pitcher that has given up 20 home runs, the most in Major League Baseball, in Tyon.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I looked at the stats for him earlier today. Like everything for him is getting hit out of the ballpark. The only pitch he's got right now that is particularly effective is the sweeper, and to an extent as well the changeup. But those aren't necessarily his primaries. He has gotten rocked. He owns Matt Chapman. He owns Willie Adames. 1 for 17 for Chapman, 3 for 20 for Adames. Though he hasn't faced Chapman in a few years. 20 home runs though. Yeah, like he's getting one of the stats to look at for pitchers based on what people with some, I guess, informational authority would tell me is look at how often they get pulled in the air. And Jameson Taillon gets pulled in the air as much as anyone in baseball. And Trevor McDonald, who's pitching today for the Giants, gets pulled in the air almost never, which bodes. I think if Trevor McDonald can figure out a few other things, I think he can be a pretty good pitcher.
I like the way Mark Simon thinks. I do. Very good. Yeah, that's a good setup for the game today. One other thing about Taillon, and there's more of Mark Simon that'll be on the KNBR website and loveofthegameproductions.com. He gives his thoughts on the NBA, by the way, because, he's a big Knicks fan. The first pitch with Taillon 16 for 37. How about that, Raph? Sounds like you could hit it. 16 for 37 with 5 home runs for the first pitch. So that's a stat to remember as well. All right, heard from our son Evan and Robin. We love Robin very much, and Lolly and Stella. And they're driving back to L.A. And in the old days, Raph, on the post game, right, we'd come on at 5 o'clock and go ahead.
And, of course, when they'd come back from home, they'd still be listening to our post game.
Yeah, we could take you from the Bay Area to the Grapevine in those days. That's what we used to do. All right. Good to have Mark Simon on, though. I like that setup of Tyon and McDonald, the sinker baller against the fly ball pitcher today. In Wrigley, that should be a good matchup for the Giants. All right, more coming up. Bruce Jenkins next, right here on the Sports Leader.
Talking baseball with Marty Lurie on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
Hello again, Marty Lurie here to talk about my good friends at Georgie Brothers, the largest family-owned furniture store in the entire Bay Area. Whether you work with Rob Georgie, Tom, Michael Passer, Steve, Elise, it is the Georgie family that makes Georgie Brothers furniture really, really special. Well, right now through June 22nd, there's another incredible stressless promotion to announce. Stressless Furniture is having a 5-star promotion. This sale features the wing-style chair and ottoman at a $500 savings in Paloma and Valero. Also, come see the floral sofa, love seat, and sectional at substantial savings. See the Stressless Gallery at Georgie Brothers for more details. Now, you know I own Stressless Furniture in my house, and I will tell you, truthfully, it's the most comfortable furniture in my house. Don't forget, visit them at GeorgieBrothers.com. That's GIORGIBROS.com. Even better, stop by the 50,000 square foot showroom in South San Francisco. Remember, tell them that Marty sent you.
Look through the window of the original Joe's on North Beach and you'll see two guys at the counter talking ball. Time for you to listen in to their conversation. Marty Lurie and the SF Chronicles' Bruce Jenkins are looking through the window of baseball. Sponsored by Original Joe's of North Beach and Westlake on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
All right, great to have you back with us. Nice to be in the studio, Raf. Get to see him. Anthony Garcia is here. He's coming up next with our Giants warm-up. Aaron Lurie is to my right. Hey, I like it. I like being back, Raf. It's the first time back in the studio since 2019.
You should do it more, Marty. Come on.
I don't know. It's really nice, though. I like it. All right, Bruce Jenkins joins us. Bruce, nice to have you with us. How are you?
Yeah, good. I hope they have an office for you there, Marty. You deserve one.
Hey, I'm near Original Joe's in Westlake. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? Dinner?
Yeah, for heaven's sake.
I'm right there. Arizona did beat Washington today. I want to talk about Washington with you in a second because they come in next.
Yeah.
And San Diego is losing to the Mets once again, and that's going on. Let's talk about the Giants this week and then what's coming up, Bruce. They're hitting home runs. I said 7 in one game. You got to go back to Darryl Spencer, Wes Westrom, and Willie Mays. The last time, I just like saying the names. You know that. The last time the three Giants hit multiple home runs in one game, but quite a week for the ball club.
Well, I mean, 30 runs in 2 games is just like, that's not even real. It was so much fun to watch, and they've been playing a lot better. You know, it just reminds you that they have so many guys that you like to watch them play well. It really, almost the whole team. Devers and Chapman, Adames, these guys have been so good in the past. They're fun to watch. Arias is ridiculous. He's the best player on the team, really. I mean, if you look at the total package that he's given him. And it's just Jung Hoo is 27 for 54. I mean, it's just really a lot of fun, and it where it leads is really difficult because they might have to score 30 in a single game to get past the bullpen. But I mean, it doesn't bode well for catching up to 500 because you can't always have an 8-2 lead, going into the late innings. And I don't really see any big answers from the bullpen as it's constructed right now. You get your moments, but you always have sort of a feeling that is this really going to work out? But they're playing really well. Even yesterday, a tough loss, but they did an awful lot of good things. Devers hit the ball out. Chapman got the run home with a big at bat there, and there was some good work from Killian and Miller before it all went sour. And so there's a lot of it's been a fun week. Let's put it that way. We could use another one.
Yeah, how about Jung-Ho Lee? We're talking Bill Terry here. Seriously, who hit 400 for the Giants in like 1930.
Yeah.
But he's got that many hits in so many games. And then Arise, and then you got Brandon Marsh and Otto Lopez. I'll take one of the Giants to win the batting title.
Yeah, they're right there with those two guys, for sure. I think I'd probably put my money on Alvarez because he's so consistent. Even his outs are these crisply hit balls right at somebody most of the time. And although it's Jung Hoo, I mean, I wouldn't put anything past him, Marty. I mean, this is the player he was in Korea. He seems to have found something with his approach, what he's attacking, what he's laying off, and he's had some breaks. He's had the balls he's hitting are finding holes, but this is a really dynamic player. It's a big adjustment from Korea. Some do it quicker than others. I mean. But for him, he seems to be really, really finding him. 27 for 54 is a hell of a sample. I mean, there's nothing accidental. He's been fantastic. So, yeah, I'm really happy for him. He could just to hit 300, as you know, Marty, is so hard these days, and I don't see any reason why he can't join Arias in that company by the end of the season.
Yeah, means a lot. Giants, well, let's talk about Washington a little bit, Bruce. They're sneaking up on everybody. They're hitting the heck out of the ball. They have decent pitching. It's not terrible. They do have a little bit of a bullpen, but they're scoring runs, and they come in next. The Giants have to deal with them, and then it's the Cubs again, a real enigma. I mean, their pitching has been awful, and they're not hitting much at all. So this is another homestand where hopefully the Giants can do something.
Well, yeah, the Nationals are above 500. They're 33 and 32. They're 11 out behind the Braves. That probably won't catch them, but I'll tell you, James Wood is the best off-field power hitter in the game. He's Cepeda-like, Clemente. I mean, just a left-hand hitter hitting homers to left center just consistently. And over the years now, it's wild to watch. He's got 17 homers all overall. They had him leading off, I think, yesterday, maybe today, too. C.J. Abrams is hitting cleanup, the shortstop. He's very dangerous. They're a good club. Cruz is a good young player. Remember, he was a big college star, and I love watching Nunez at second base. He's very flashy, makes great plays, and they have a lot of fun, and they do have a winning record, so that's certainly no breeze whatsoever.
No, Abrams is back, too. He's the one.
I didn't mention him.
And the Giants have handled him in the past. I remember when they played in Washington earlier this year, he didn't get a hit the whole series against them.
That's right. Yeah,
we'll see how that works out. Looking at a couple of things. One is Eldridge. When I talked about Eldridge, you've been on this, Bruce. I commend you since day one. He's getting better every day.
Yeah, he really is. I thought I'd have a heart attack when Buddy Kennedy came up to hit for him, but I mean,
defense.
That's taking the right-left thing a little too far in the defense, whatever. But he's playing every day against everybody, which is what should be happening. Doesn't matter if it's a lefty, doesn't matter if it's a tough lefty. This should be what we're seeing the rest of the way. And the Cubs got him yesterday, but he's hitting the ball hard. They did. Vitello did pinch run for him yesterday. It was somewhat understandable, but it's not like he's slow. He can run. He says he was one of the faster players, in his youth and in the minors. So he's just you look forward to his at bats. He's hit so many balls hard, and we're still waiting. He's going to hit a 450-foot homer one of these days, hopefully into the Cove. And he's just, I think he's got what it takes, and he's always had that good attitude. Like, I'm here, I belong here. I'm not too cocky, but this is where I belong, and you're gonna have me for a long time.
Yeah, I think the Giants got lucky with Gary Pettis that he was available to coach third, because we've seen him for years, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get really much better than Wotus, but he's kind of past traveling with the team all year long, especially if it's not leading to the this guy's used to the champagne and confetti. He's a heck of a coach with a winning team, and he's still a heck of a coach with whoever he's with. But I didn't seem like he was looking at that for the long haul. But Gary Pettis falls in from the sky. What a break! I mean, the Borg was overmatched. He shouldn't have been put there in that kind of spotlight. You need somebody who's been familiar with the league, and Pettis is a guy. I'm not sure what he's been doing lately, but he's always been a guy who studies the league. He knows what's happening with everybody's arm. He watches all the arms in warm-ups. See, that guy does not throw maybe very well. Maybe we can run on him and little things like that. And just a pro, so that bodes well, I think.
Yep. And he will push the running game, and they started to do that yesterday. Plus, his kid plays for the 49ers. Remember him?
Yes. Yeah.
Dante Pettis, I think, right?
Dante Pettis, yeah. Was he at University of Washington?
Yeah, Anthony's getting ready here. He's my sounding board because I don't know what I'm talking. When I leave my lane, I don't know what I'm talking about.
It is absolutely Dante Pettis. I can assure you, Marty.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
I wouldn't let you make a mistake, at least on purpose. I wouldn't intentionally let you make a mistake.
So I go out of my lane, it's trouble.
If we both make a mistake, then whoops.
Well, we got Bruce. All right.
Well, as long as I don't go out of my lane, we'll have a head on.
Mizorowski threw a pitch yesterday, Bruce, or the day before, whenever it was. I think it stopped finally going. 103.7, and it's not the fastest pitch ever. That's Aroldis Chapman, 105. But how about Mizorowski? The Giants missed him, and they got Harrison, who gave it to him pretty good. But this guy is unbelievable what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, to get that from a starter, you have amazing numbers from relievers. Hicks in his youth put up a 105, Chapman, some of these guys, Mason Miller. But to get that from a starter, and he's still humming in the 7th and 8th inning like that, I love it. I mean, it's something we've seen all through the history of the game, really. It seems like radical. Like, where is that coming from? But, I don't think he has an enormous repertoire of pitches where he's got a different torque on 6 different pitches, and it takes a strain on the arm. If you can cut it down to that 4-seamer and a breaking ball, and that's and Harrison too. That's kind of all you need, And he's a great big kid. He's very likable, and he just nothing seems to bother him. And what a blessing. I'd love to see I'd love to see the Giants get a kid like that. They're very rare. They're not rare when they're 16, but then they get Tommy John, and who knows what happens.
Yeah, but he's amazing, and he's not a big muscular guy. This is
right.
Not, so he's not a lot of strain. Pretty impressive to see him. Bruce, a couple of things. One, I want to give you a chance to talk about the NBA. You wrote about it today. And something I realized, growing up as a Knicks fan, in 1970 and 73 and all that stuff, and I love the Warriors in those years. But to watch basketball today, it's not the Knicks in 1970. It's a different game. It's a football game that they're playing. But this is pretty amazing to see Wemby, 7'4", against the Knicks. This has been some series.
Yeah. It very little compares to those Knicks of the 70s, no matter how old you are or what you know about the game, because it was all five guys in the lineup were future Hall of Famers. They were all guys who could kill you. They're all guys who could get 25 on a given night, and all they wanted to do was share the ball. Pass, open shot. It was very, very beautiful basketball. Red Holtzman. And in 1973, they added two more Hall of Famers. They added Jerry Lucas and Earl Monroe, and once again they win the title. But these Knicks are, like you say, in today's game, they don't drown you in three-pointers every damn time down the floor. They move the ball good. They have an inside game. Karl Anthony Towns is not just casting off from 25 feet every time, which is he's done in the past. And in fact, he's having an edge over Wembanyama very clearly. I mean, Barkley's been real harsh. And Shaq, this guy, Wemby's getting punked by this guy. It's 2 games in now. Now, let me tell you one thing, Marty, about old-time basketball. You remember Kareem when the Lakers would come down the court and Kareem would set up with his back to the basket?
Sure.
He'd get a pass from Magic Johnson, and it was over.
Sky hook.
Yeah, or some guys have more than one shot. Maybe you got a lefty shot. But put your back to the basket. So now you're down there. And if you're 7'4", tell me what they're going to do.
Yeah.
What are they going to do against you if you rise up now at 7'4" and put up a little hook above your head? This is not even. He never does this. They say he's been working on it, but it's hurting him right now that he's way too far from the basket. But at the same time, I mean, I don't want to come down on this kid already. Everybody's been building it up with really good reason. He's got a beautiful 3-point shot, and he's blocked shots coming from nowhere, and they're still very capable of winning the series, which I love that Wemby's being challenged, and all the Spurs, that his cast of characters, Castle and Harbor, those are good players who are really getting after it. So it's a great series. I'd love to see the Spurs get a win in New York, which is going to be very, very hard, but that would really make it a series.
Yeah, the Knicks fans are something else, though. I'll tell you that, to watch them in San Antonio. They're lucky to get out of the stadium.
Yeah, and there's a big commotion now because Trump's going to Game 3, and they're shutting down all the watch parties in the street. That's a big deal. I mean,
hey.
Stephen A. Smith, who's kind of obnoxious, was on the air the other day. He's a big Knicks fan. He goes, "This is going to be a scene like you can't believe." Well, no, it isn't. It really isn't. It's going to be different with all the security and cops and angry fans not being able to party the way they want to. But once the game starts, you're in the Garden, and it's the Knicks. So
good stuff.
It's not our problem. Yeah.
No, good stuff. You wrote it. The point is, you wrote about it today online in the Chronicle and everything, and it really got me going just to read it. So I appreciate it. All right, I'm close to Original Joe's. If John Dugan is listening, John, call me. I'm ready to go to Westlake. Okay. All right. I think that's a good idea tonight. But Bruce, have a great week, and. Next week, let's see, Glenn Kuiper's sitting in for me next week. I'll be in Charlotte with the movie. There's a screening of the Marty Lurie story in Charlotte. They invited me.
Oh, great.
And
great movie, everybody.
Yeah, and
Even though I'm in it, but it's still pretty good.
It's on Amazon Prime. And the next week, if things go well, I'm supposed to go to Cooperstown, believe it or not. They're going to show the movie at the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll tell you, the guy Randy Field did a great job. He interviewed everybody under the sun. Your story comes to light. It's beautifully told, and it's been gaining momentum ever since that opening night in the city, and it's really worthwhile. It's great. That's tremendous, Marty. You so deserve it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so next week, Glenn Kuiper, and then the week after that is Kerry. So I just realized that I may not be here for the next 2 weeks, so Enjoy.
Well, I look forward to talking both of those guys. Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet, Marty.
Okay. All right. Coming up next, Anthony, you want to say hello here?
I do want to say hello, everybody. You will see my face in just a moment on YouTube if you're streaming on YouTube. Marty, so I know you're a big Original Joe's guy. Do you know who was at Original Joe's this week 5 days in a row? Did
Adam
you hear?
Sandler.
Adam Sandler was
Come
there.
on.
Did you see him? Did you meet him?
I didn't meet him,
Okay.
but I wish that I would have known.
Yeah.
And he not only did he go to Westlake, he went to the marina.
Yes.
And then I think he took out from West Portal.
Yeah.
Which I did the other night.
Who knew Adam Sandler? See, this is how much of a pioneer and a trailblazer you are, Marty. Is that Hollywood actors, Hollywood stars are following where you eat.
He called me. I said, go there. What can I tell you? All right. Great to be with you, Anthony. Good to see you and have a good show
good to see you.
today.
Thank you,
And
Marty.
it's good baseball today. This Talkin, right?
Yep.
5 home runs today, right?
It's all in the first inning.
Okay.
I would like them. Let's have a nice, easy one. I'd like
All
to
right.
relax into the week.
You got a good show today. Ahmed is on.
I have a great show. Ahmed Fareed, our old friend from
Yeah.
NBC Sports Bay Area.
He's fabulous.
He does everything at NBC. He does the Kentucky Derby. He does some NFL. He does some MLB. He does some NBA. He does it all. He'll be on at 3:20. And then AEW pro wrestler, Giant superfan Anthony Bowens.
Fabulous.
Is going to be on the show at 4.
Take it from here. Thanks, Anthony.
All right. Let's hit our open.
Talking baseball with Marty Lurie on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Just a quick note about the rooftop restaurant at the Via Hotel, the Hotel Via across the street from the park. They do a wide variety of events on the rooftop, from weddings and birthdays to corporate retreats and special events, holiday events, and any other special occasion you can think of. With stunning 360 views of the skyline, Bay Bridge, East Bay, and of course Oracle Park, the rooftop at Via is truly one of the most unique event venues in San Francisco. Fans, I'm coming up to the Bay Area to see some Giants baseball. It also means I'm going to see Sonny from A&H Transportation. A&H Transportation, the East Bay's finest, serving the Bay Area since 2007. If you need to be picked up at the airport, it's 24/7, taken to the airport, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. Whether it's wine tours, concerts, game events, medical appointments, Sonny and A&H Transportation will take care of you just as family would. Give them a call, 925-200-2824. You can check them out on the web, ah4limo.com. Email them, ah4limo at ah4limo.net. Sonny, I'll see you soon.
Seam heads, start cracking those peanuts and spitting those seeds, because gloves are soon to be popping.
He makes a headlong dive and makes the catch.
And bats are going to get cracking.
Blast one! Deep right field! Gone!
Welcome to KNBR's Giants Warm-Up
Way back there! Goodbye!
on the sports leader.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Giants Warm-Up. My name is Anthony Garcia. It's Sports Anthony on the Sports Leader. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday, I hosted the show. Giants scored 26 runs and hit 18 home runs and another grand slam. That was after Friday's game. And then after yesterday, today, a little more somber, a little more morose, as the Giants drop a heartbreaker in Wrigley in 10 innings. Getting you ready for Giants-Cubs. Trevor McDonald versus Jamison Taillon, first pitch day, 5:30 p.m. I'm going till 4:30. Joe Rizzo and FP Santangelo on the call in Wrigley Field. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SportsAnthony. I always feel weird plugging my socials. I always feel like an influencer. Like I got to do ASMR. Like, follow me on Twitter. Hey, guys. They always start with hey, guys. I don't know why they do that. They start every video with hey, guys. Anyway, follow me on Sports Anthony. Call or text. I am but a co-host. Join the show, please. Please join the show. I love having callers. I love taking calls. Here's how you call or text. 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. And we are live and in living color around the world, broadcasting globally and internationally on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in 4 letters, KNBR. I am not by myself. I am by myself in the studio, the man behind the glass. Top right of your screen, right here. The Rye Guy, a.k.a. Rye Bread, a.k.a. Chips. His mama called him Ryan McCarthy. Rye Guy, how are we doing on this Sunday afternoon?
Doing good so far. Yesterday's game was brutal, but they've won the aggregate
That's
over
right.
the 2 games. Yes, they have.
I'm not a big European soccer fan. Ryan, you're a fan of everything. You are a literal fan of everything, so I'm sure you're a European soccer fan.
I don't really get cricket, but yeah, everything else is good.
I mean, it's a flat bat, and they're trying to hit a wicket behind it. I don't think there's
Scoring is weird.
I don't think there's a lot to get. You're just trying to go back and forth, right?
I really don't know.
I don't know either.
Sometimes games go on for like 5
For
straight days.
They go
and
days.
Just don't stop.
It's like Quidditch.
Oh, Quidditch is cool, yeah.
You're a big Quidditch guy.
I like Harry Potter, so I understand Quidditch, yeah.
Okay, can I go on a quick Harry Potter tangent real quick?
Sure.
A Harry Potter sports tangent. Sorry to all the people who aren't nerds. For the if you're a Harry Potter nerd and a baseball nerd, this is for you. If you're not, just I'll get there in a second. Okay, you know the Quidditch World Cup final? Victor Crumb. You know, you catch
I remember that.
You catch the snitch, you get 150 points, but the game ends. So Victor Crumb, this is a bit that I do. Victor Crumb catches the snitch even though his team was losing by more than 150 points. So he catches the snitch, the game is over, and they lose. Why would you catch the snitch if you can't win the game?
You win the game if you catch the snitch.
No, you don't. No, you don't win the game if you catch the snitch. You have to have more points. Do you even Harry Potter, bro?
They won the game, yeah. Remember in Chamber of Secrets?
They didn't win the game. No, the Quidditch World Cup. We're way off topic. We're off. Do you even Harry Potter, Rye Guy? Harry doesn't Rye. Ryan doesn't Harry. Here's what we got going on today. 5 segments today. This is the first one. In the next segment number 2, our old friend at NBC Sports Bay Area, Ahmed Fareed of NBC Sports fame, who does it all. He does everything at NBC Sports. Defensive versatility, that's Casey Schmidt. Host versatility is Ahmed Fareed. Then in our 4th segment, AEW pro wrestler, Super Giants fan, who got into a brawl today in his rec league baseball game. I'm going to talk to him about that. Anthony Bowens. I wonder how a professional wrestler does in an actual fight. We will ask him soon. Join the show, 415-808-KNBR, but we do have to talk about yesterday, unfortunately. Yesterday was a tough one. Giants up 1-0. They get a big home run for Rafael Devers, and then Pete Crow Armstrong, who is quickly becoming one of the most talented players in all of baseball, plays on the Chicago Cubs. He ties it in the 6th with a solo home run. Giants push a run across in the 9th. Matt Chapman, who has had a wonderful week, Matt Chapman, did not hit a home run in the months of April or May. He's got 3 this week, including 2 on Friday, one of which was a grand slam. Ties it in the top of the 9th with the sac fly. We love sac flies. We love taking the lead in the 9th. What we don't like is giving up the lead in the 9th. 2-1. It was Keaton Wynn on the bump, taking on PCA, who had already homered earlier in the game. Wynn gets the first 2 guys pretty quickly. PCA steps up to the plate, 2-1. Giants up 1 out away from what would have been their season-high 4th consecutive win, and then this happens.
Left-handed hitter, first pitch, a swing and a drive. High and deep out to right. It is gone. On the first pitch, Pete Crow Armstrong hits a no-doubter to right, his 2nd home run of the game, and we're tied again, 2-2. What a player.
What a player is right. PCA ties it in the 9th. The Giants can't get the runner on. I saw a stat yesterday, and I wish I could attribute it to someone. The stat said the Giants, I think, have been 9 extra inning games. In 6 of them, they haven't scored a run in the 10th. And you get one for free. You get a runner on second. So the Giants get the Manfred runner, the ghost runner, however you want to call it, on second base to start extra innings. They can't get them over. And then, of course, we've seen this movie before. The Giants give up the lead in the 9th, and then we get to the 10th. They don't score in the top half. In the bottom half, the very first batter of the frame, Michael Bush, the lefty, steps up to the plate and it was time to go happy at Wrigley.
Hench is ready, and the 2-2. A swing and a ground ball, right side, past the diving Arise. Barracoto and right, it kicks off of his glove, rolls away. Swanson will score, and the game is over. And a heartbreak for the Giants here at Wrigley Field today.
The Giants drop another heartbreaker indeed. 3 times this season, the Giants have won 3 games in a row. All 3 times they fail to win a 4th. And when you're 15 games under 500 the way that the Giants are, 13 games under 500 the way the Giants are, you need to put together some wins. You need to put together some victories. Giants have been unable to grab that elusive 4th straight win. Victor Barracoto was in right field. He misplayed the ball and then just kind of let it go behind him, or at the very least walked after it. I know that's something like my dad would have been upset about. Like, oh, he didn't hustle after the ball. The game was over. So I think Barracoto deserves a mulligan for that one. 5 losses this season for the Giants when leading in the 9th inning. Not tied, leading. There have been 5 instances this season, I'm going to say it again, when the Giants have been leading in the 9th and they have lost. Second most in the majors, only the Royals have more with 7. Not good. I'm going to get into the bullpen a little later on in the show. We'll talk about in that 3rd segment. Stick around. Call in 415-808-KNBR. Bullpen has had a problem putting away games, and I think part of it is just the nature of baseball nowadays here in 2026. Starters don't go as long. Robbie Ray pitched well. I'm sorry, not Robbie Ray. It was Landon Roop yesterday. Pitched well. 5 2/3 innings. Only gave up 1 earned run. The home run to Pete Crow Armstrong. But knock it out of the 6th. That means you have to bring in relievers. That means you have to bring in multiple ones. And odds are you just feel like the more relievers you throw out there, the other team's going to at least get one of them. And that's what happened yesterday. PCA gets Keaton win in the 9th, and then the Cubs walk off in the 10th. Couple things I did like. Let's do a couple silver linings. Landon Root pitched really well. 5 2/3, 1 earned run. Had a really bad start Monday in Milwaukee. 4 innings, gave up 8 earned runs. The start was so rough that Roop's ERA on Monday went from 3.30 to 4.22. So he bounced back yesterday. 5 2/3, 1 earned run. ERA gets down to 4. And then Rafael Devers with the solo home run. His 8th of the season. Devers, not quite the numbers that you would hope a player of his caliber and his pedigree would have. Here are some quick numbers on Devers this year. 101st in average is at every one of the majors. 101st in the average. 75th in home runs. He's 59th in RBI. He's 106th in OPS. Had a rough April. He hit 196 with 2 home runs. Bounced back in May. A really strong May for got 8 to 306 average and a 949 OPS. And Jung-Hoo Lee did it again. Happy to see Jung-Hoo Lee continuing the hitting streak. 14 games now since coming off the IL last Friday. 22 for 37. That's a 595 average, so I'm going to give Jung-Hoo Lee a silver lining. The most hits in a 9-game span in the San Francisco era of Giants baseball. I know it's kind of one of those weird stats. It's kind of arbitrary. Like, no one is like, oh, you know who has the most hits in a 9-game span? Like, if stats or one of those ESPN has to tell me what a stat is, then it's not a real stat. It's one of those stats like, oh, Jung-Hoo Lee is hitting 456 against pitchers who have 2 baby mamas whose last name starts with a vowel and ends with a consonant when the weather is 19 degrees Celsius. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Who cares about those stats? Maybe I do because I'm about to read one right now. Most hits in a 9-game span in San Francisco era. Willie Mays the most with 23. That was 1958. That was the first year the Giants played here in San Francisco. Jung-Hoo Lee second, 22. 22 home runs. Hits. Anytime you're on a list with Willie Mays and Orlando Cepeda is on that list, Buster Posey is on that list right behind him, that's pretty good company. Willie Mays. Quick Willie Mays story. You guys want to hear a Willie Mays story? Of course you do. Willie Mays was so good and he was so smart. I got this from Alex Pavlich's book. You should read it. You guys should read it, by the way. When he would hit balls down the line or in the gap because Willie McCovey was hitting behind him, he would stay at first. He would turn doubles into singles because he was smart enough to know that if he went to second, they would just pitch around Willie McCovey. And another Willie Mays story, which I find fascinating, is when he was on second and there would be a base hit into the outfield, Willie would intentionally run slow when he would round third and head for home because he wanted to draw a throw from the outfielders. And then when he saw that the outfielder was throwing him home, he would speed up because he was that fast and he was that good. Willie Mays just toying with the opposition, drawing a throw home so the batter could get to second. Those are some Willie Mays stories. Another guy with a story, Ahmed Fareed, who's coming up next. But first, we've got to give credit to someone. We got to give credit where credit is due. Our player to give credit to here on this Sunday, Jung-Hoo Lee. You got a 14-game hitting streak, which is the longest active streak in the majors right now. 5th longest streak of the season. The grandson to the wind. 22 for 37. Since coming off the IL, Jung-Hoo Lee, he is our player to give credit to. That's sponsored by Provident Credit Union. Provident Credit Union provides smart banking options like super reward checking. Visit providentcu.org. I got a call. I'm going to take Chips, let's take this call real quick. Let's take this call. I want to get to Ray. Ray in Washington wants to talk Victor Barracoto. Ray, welcome to Giants Warm-Up. How are you doing on this Sunday?
I'm doing well, Anthony. Thanks for having me on. I love it when you're on. I love listening. I love all the guests that you get on.
Thank you, Ray.
I was listening to you, and I'm probably like your dad, where I would want a Barracoto to run after that ball. But I don't blame him, right? And I don't like pointing fingers at people anyway.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, there was 2 contributing factors, in my opinion, yesterday that I think fall on the coaching.
Well, what is that? This should be interesting.
The first one was where it's bottom of the 9th, and Armstrong's coming up. Somebody should have called timeout and let Wynn know, don't pitch it. Don't pitch it over the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw him a strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the guy's already hit 1 home run and he's hot. And I kind of believe that, a little powwow on the mound would have helped. And then the other one was runner out second and extra innings,
Yep.
nobody out.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody reminded or got with Barracoto, hey, at least try to hit it to the right or bunt or something, other than swing away.
Yeah.
And try to rip it.
Yeah, Ray, I appreciate the call. I have a couple answers, or not a couple answers, but some retort to the things that you said. Well, I'm pretty sure Keaton Wynn wasn't trying to throw it over the middle. It looked like a sinker that just didn't sink, which sometimes happens. But yeah, it's frustrating definitely as a fan when you're up by 1, and literally the only thing Keaton Wynn has to do in that situation is stay in the park. Even if PCA bangs one off the ivy at Wrigley or hits a triple or a walk or a hit batter or whatever, as long as Keaton Wynn stays in the park, the Giants are fine. Unfortunately, there was a sinker that doesn't sink. PCA, who's one of the best all-around baseball players in the world right now, ties it up, which you hate to see. And as for Barracoto in the 10th, I'm sorry, road teams especially, you want to play for more than 1. You want to try to put up a big inning. The road team, it's kind of the advantage that the home team has in extra innings, because if the road team scores 1 or doesn't score, then the home team can play for 1 to tie it and extend the game, or win it if the road team doesn't score in the top half. So I will forgive coaching for that one. I think the strategy says you don't want to play for 1. You want to play for as many as you can because the home team has a chance to match. But Ray, I appreciate the phone call. I absolutely see where you're coming from, and I appreciate the kind words. I hope you will call back again soon. I did the ad read, so we're good. Coming up next, our old friend here in the Bay Area, Ahmed Fareed. Remember those carpool commercials he did with Dave Feldman? He got some great guests like Stephen Curry and Billy Beane. We're going to ask him about it, as well as ask him what's going on with Tarek Skubal. He's a Tigers fan. Ahmed Fareed joins Giants Warm-Up. It's Sports Anthony on the Sports Leader.
Our KNBR Giants warm-up keeps rolling on the Sports Leader.
Chapman, at the very least, looking to elevate a ball deep enough into the outfield. The 1-0, he swings and drives this one out to left center. Crow Armstrong is back. He's at the track, looking up. It is another Giants grand slam. Matt Chapman joins the party. A grand slam to left center here in the fourth. It is 6-0 Giants.
It turns out that loading the bases and then hitting a home run while said bases are loaded is a really good strategy. Slam Francisco. No, Grand Slam Cisco. That's what we're calling it. Sand Slam Cisco. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm going with. That was Matt Chapman on Friday with the third Grand Slam of the week for the Giants. 3 legs of this 3-city road trip, they hit a Grand Slam in every single city. Chappie with the Grand Slam, his 4th of his career. The home run of the week, sponsored by Smokin' D's Barbecue, the flavor that's out of the park. Visit SmokingD'sBarbecueSF.com today for your next barbecue home run. It's a little tricky, so I'm going to spell it out. I hope Smokin' D's appreciates this. SMOKINDSBBQSF.com. Look at the chat really quick on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. We're live and in living color. Josephine says, what's up? EB here says, Hope McDonald is ready. Hope McDonald is ready for the spotlight. The game tonight, 5:30 p.m., first pitch, the rubber match of the Giants and Cubs at Wrigley. Something important to tell our moms and dads who are a little older, the game is on NBC. It's on Peacock tonight, not NBC Sports Bay Area. It's on regular old NBC. My mom is calling me right now. Mom, I'm on the air. If you're watching, I'm on the air. Time to bring in a special guest. He is a very, very special guest. You know him from here at NBC Sports Bay Area, here in the Bay Area. Great tag team with the great Dave Feldman. He's now at NBC Sports, where he does everything. He does horse racing, he does football, he does basketball, he does baseball, he does college football. I think I saw him doing a hopscotch tournament one day at 2 a.m. when I was leaving the bar. He does everything. Sports Leader audience, please welcome our good friend, Mr. Ahmed Fareed. Ahmed, how are you doing? How the heck are you?
What was that? Was that a standing ovation or a seated ovation? I couldn't tell.
It was like 95% of people were standing, and then the people who weren't, they had taken their hats off, and you were getting one of those.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, that counts. That counts. Anthony, always good to talk to you. Some of my best memories in TV, working back in the Bay Area at CSN, which became Comcast Sportsnet, which became NBC Sports Bay Area. You were behind the scenes. You were doing everything. And then you said, this on-air thing doesn't seem that hard. And so now you did it, and you're crushing it. And so I'm so proud of you. But
I appreciate
Anthony, it's always
that.
good to talk to you.
It is great to talk to you as well. So we know how much the Giants appreciate defensive versatility and defensive flexibility. You got Casey Schmidt. I interviewed him last week, and he plays left. He plays all 4 non-catcher infield positions. He joked that he never know what glove he's going to need. And I feel like you're the Casey Schmidt of NBC because you literally do everything. I've seen you do the Olympics. I've seen you do the Kentucky Derby. You do the NFL. You're doing MLB now. You do NBA. You do everything. How do you handle covering so many sports? Casey was saying, I never know which glove to bring. Is that kind of like you? I know there's no glove for when you're hosting on air, but cue cards, do you mix up your cue cards? Do you forget to turn a part of your brain off? How do you handle doing so many sports?
Thank God the microphone is always the same. It's always the same microphone, so I don't even need to worry about that. And wardrobe supplies all my ties, and so I don't even need to think about that. No, I mean, it really has kind of been, one thing I think the business is kind of going more towards this. You see the generalists outside of just the specialists. Like when I was in San Francisco, I loved Giants baseball. I was a baseball guy. But doing Sportsnet Central with Dave Feldman, you kind of had to know it all. You had to know the 49ers. You were throwing to Raiders camp with Fallon Smith. Mm-hmm. You're throwing to Matt Mayoko in the 49ers. And then you're throwing to Monty Poole with the Warriors Report. And so I feel like kind of, in a way, that was my training ground for what I'm doing now at NBC. It's just like, all right, you don't have to be an expert in everything. And in fact, it's impossible to do that. But you know a little bit. You know the right questions to ask. You know what's interesting to the people who do live and die with the sports, and you can kind of become part of that community. And so it's been awesome. I think it's kind of job security at this point. You dabble in a little bit of everything, and then you're pretty hard to fire. And so it's been a fun run. And now we've got Sunday Night Baseball, and we've got Giants again on our air, and so it's almost like it's coming full circle for us.
Yeah, we'll get we'll talk some Giants in a second, but I say this in all sincerity, I'm a big fan of yours. I love working for you. I always smile real wide every time I see you on the TV. I think you and Dave Feldman, Feldy and Fareed, are one of the best Bay Area media duos of all time here in our sports world. I put you guys up with Kruk and Kipe and Razor and Mr. T. You guys were so funny. You guys were so great together. And one of your lasting impressions, one thing that you did that sticks with the consciousness of sports fans here in the Bay Area is those carpool commercials were so cool and they were so fun. And you got such great guests. You got Stephen Curry and you got Billy Bean. I think you had Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes. How did those come about? Whose idea was that? And what was it like shooting those commercials in the car with Feldy and said guests?
Tom Pellick was the brainchild of that, the great Tom Pellick. And so in the promo department that we had there, just basically put a bunch of GoPros in a camera and a microphone in there, and they go, all right, we got a loose script. Good luck making this work. We had the athletes for probably 20 minutes, if that, because it was after practice for like Andrew Bogut and Steph Curry, Brandon Belt, and all that stuff. Hunter Pence, who we'll hear on the broadcast tonight. No, I mean, like Anthony, I mean, that's super high praise, and we didn't have the longevity of a Kruk and Kipe, but I do think that, you know, what Dave did so well, and because he had more experience than I did at the time, is he never took himself too seriously. He took the job seriously, but he was okay making fun of himself, and that was the whole idea of the Carpool Confession. We weren't going to get in the car and be like, hey, here's how great our show is. You got to watch it. It's just like, no, here's the kind of vibe that we will have for our show. And hopefully you enjoy it and you see that these athletes are enjoying it. To this day, I don't think there's anything that I've done, even at the national level, maybe the Kentucky Derby last year, that it gets so many people coming up to me and be like, oh, I love those commercials. And those, Anthony, now that's like a decade ago. Yeah. That was almost a decade ago for some of those. Yeah. And so that's super special. I could go my whole career and never have something like that happen again. But those commercials were super special. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to do them. And yeah, I still remember. I'll go back. I'll search them. I don't mind searching myself online. I'll go back and look at Brandon Crawford making me put hair gel in my hair and all that stuff. Like, they were so fun, and I still reminisce about those.
Yeah. So you mentioned B. Craw making you put hair gel on. Any other fun stories? Any other fun memories with the athletes in those cars?
I mean, yes, with Zaza Pachulia, remember him with the Warriors? Yeah. We had this idea of we were going to ask him if he wanted some pizza. You know, you want some za? And so we basically just said za to Zaza like probably 13 times in the matter of 20 seconds in a commercial. And it was so weird, and it was just so goofy, but yet we went for it, and we did it. And like that's what I love the most about it, is that some of the ideas, I'm like, I don't know if this is funny to anyone besides just us, but we're going to give it a go. And sometimes those are the best ones, because people can see that you're taking a little bit of a chance, and some people don't like it, but that's the beauty of it. So yeah, that Curry in the car. Like, the cool thing about Steph is that he was participating. He was like, no, what if you say, you know, it's like, you've got this dinner here and you steal it from me, and you're kind of the bully, and I'm trying to give you a signed shoe, and that's not good enough. You want Aisha's cooking. And I'm like, that's gold. Let's just go with it. And so how the athletes participated in doing it, that was really cool, and they got into it.
Do you still talk to Feldy? I'm assuming you do. You guys still chat with each other?
I do. Okay. Yeah, I do, and I get to watch him. You know, he's still calling some basketball. He's still doing the NBC Bay Area with the football show, the NFL show on Sunday. And so, yeah, I do, and he's a dad now. So, like Dave, I think the combination worked, because I was kind of like the goofy kid. I was still inexperienced, but you know, I like to think I had a pretty good sense of humor. But Dave kind of was able to bring that gravitas, but yet still have that sense of humor. Yeah. And so I think that balance really worked. And like, Anthony, I say this all the time. It's like, who knows in your career when you're going to, you know, find that match and like really do a show where you're like, man, this is like my kind of show. We did it in San Francisco, and occasionally we have done it, you know, at NBC on the national level. I think our Peacock NBA show with Brian Scalabrine and some of those guys has been really, really fun. And so we've kind of had that same vibe, but I like it. There was something special about that time at CSN.
Yeah, it really means a lot, just as not just someone who worked there, but as a Bay Area sports fan. And you've gone on to do things nationally that some of your best times, personally and professionally, were here in the Bay Area. Let's talk some Giants. They're on your air tonight on NBC, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. From afar, what's been your take of the San Francisco Giants from 3,000 miles away?
They can't score. I think that's been the problem for most of the year. But it's not one of those things where you look at the lineup, you're like, well, yeah, that's a lineup that can't score. It's a lineup that has underproduced basically to a man up until maybe the last week and a half here. They've made it really hard on themselves, not walking, not getting on base. I think they lead the league in solo home runs still, even with Slam Francisco or whatever has been going on.
I'm going San Slam Cisco because San Diego did Slam Diego, and I don't want to copy the Padres for anything.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want to copy an organization whose uniform colors are poop brown and urine yellow. So
no, you're right.
Their Slam Diego, I think, will be San Slam Cisco. I'm trying to get it started. We'll see what happens.
Good. I just made it harder by screwing it up, and now that's stuck in my head. Sorry about that. But we've seen it the last week. Chapman, he can hit like this. Willie Adames can hit like this. Devers can hit a little bit better than he did in the first month and a half of the year, and so the offense can be better. In that ballpark, it's a pitcher's best friend. So Robbie Ray, Logan Webb back, healthy throwing. So there's glimmers of hope. Obviously, the division is difficult. The Dodgers are basically the best team that we have seen in the last decade. But when you spend $570 million on a roster, you have to have that, right? It would be utter failure if you didn't. I think Arizona's actually really good too. The San Diego, I don't know that San Diego actually is all that. There are some issues with San Diego right now. So, I mean, if you're looking at the division and if you're looking at teams in the wild card that you could catch, San Francisco could catch San Diego, but it feels late, but it's still early. I remember Tim Flannery would always say this to me. They'd get done with the first month of the season for the Giants, and he'd look around the clubhouse and he'd go, wait a second, we got to do 5 more of these? That's insane. There's no way we'll make it to the end. And so it's like every year we realize again how long the baseball
it's a long season.
Is. Yeah. And even in the championship year, Anthony, 2014, I remember it was a stretch from, I don't know if it was mid-July through the end of August, where the Giants legitimately had the worst record in all of baseball.
I remember that.
And we know that what ended up there, Game 7 in Kansas City. So it's such a long season. Yeah, it looks bad, but, they do have the talent, and Buster's not afraid to make a bold move, which is fun to see. And so you can't give up on them yet. You just hope they play entertaining baseball from here on out.
Ahmed Fareed, you're giving all of us hope. So you gave us some hope. I'll get you out of here on this one. I know you're a big Detroit Tigers fan. Your boy, Tarek Skubal, pitched 5 scoreless innings today in Class A ball. What's going on with Skubal? I know he's injured. He's supposed to come back in July, August-ish. But the whole free agent thing, is that a thing that is he going to hit free agents? Are they going to trade him? I know it's kind of up in the air of whether or not the Tigers are going to keep him. I'm asking this because you just gave us hope for the season. I'm going shot in the dark. I'm trying to have Tarek Skubal come to San Francisco. I'm trying to have it be Skubal Francisco. So what's going on with your boy Tarek?
Well, I'm sad because they really did go all in on this year. They could have traded Tarek this offseason or last year even, and gotten a boatload for him, but they're like, you know what, we're going to take a shot. We're going to get Framber Valdez. We're going to go for it this year, and they got rewarded by having maybe the worst injury run of any team that I have ever seen in Major League Baseball, including Tarek Skubal. The Skubal thing does remind me a little bit of Madison Bumgarner when it came to the end there with the Giants, because there were multiple years where they were like, okay, you really could get a ton for Mad Bum right now if you traded him with 2 years left to control. Giants did not do that. They kept going for it. That's what the Tigers did. And so, Skubal's going to hit free agency. It's just, he's the Boris guy. He's only a few months away right now. And so that ship has sailed. He will test the waters. But I think it's depending on how well he pitches and if the Tigers can make a run that I think the Giants could make here. The Tigers are in a very similar situation. I think they're 12 or 13 games below 500. If they don't make a run, Skubal will be traded. And who knows? He could go anywhere. Be pretty nice in that ballpark in that jersey, I know, but I think there's a lot of teams that would be looking at Tarek Skubal.
So, Ahmed, the two things I'm taking away from this interview is that, one, the Giants are going to make a run, and two, Tarek Skubal, in some form or fashion at some point, is going to be a San Francisco Giant. Ahmed, I loved having you on. I feel so much better now.
Aggregate it, and Jason Benetti will talk about it tonight during the game probably. That'll happen.
Ahmed, I appreciate you coming on. It was a pleasure to work with you. It was a pleasure to sit next to you at our buddy Cam Kim's wedding last summer. Yeah. And enjoy the call tonight. Wish nothing but the best for you, Ahmed. Thanks for coming on.
Anthony, you're crushing it. Always good to talk to you. Much more success to you. And, anytime you want to talk, I'm up for it.
I'm going to hold you to that, Ahmed. I will hold you to that. I can't wait to see you on various sports on NBC. Thank you to Ahmed Fareed. The man, the myth, the legend, Ahmed Fareed. Clip it. Aggregate it right now. Ahmed Fareed says the Giants are going to make a run, and they're going to do it with Tarek Skubal as their new starting left-handed pitcher. Giants warm-up rolls on. I don't have a guest in my next segment, so if you want to call, do it now. 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. It's Sports Anthony on the Sports Leader.
The golden snitch.
What do I do with it?
You catch it before the other team's seeker.
See?
You catch this.
I told you.
The game's over. You catch this, Potter, and we win.
KNBR, the Sports
I was
Leader.
right.
Welcome back to our KNBR Giants warm-up on the Sports Leader.
You catch this, the game's over. You catch this, Potter, and we win.
I don't care what you say, Ryan, I was right. You're wrong, I was right.
You catch this, Potter, and we win.
Who knew that Cedric Diggory would be one of the biggest actors in the world, by the way? Our boy Robert Pattinson. You know who else is our boy? Trevor McDonald. Getting the start for the Giants today against Jamison Tyone of the Cubs. First pitch today, Giants and Cubs, the rubber match at Wrigley. A Wrigley rubber match. 5:30 p.m. Joe Rizzo and FP Santangelo on the call. I am Anthony Garcia, a.k.a. Sports Anthony on The Sports Leader. I don't have a guest in this segment, so if you want or call or text, get in the YouTube chat, do it now. Call me right now, 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. Leave a chat in the YouTube chat. Here's what they're saying in the chat, where they're arguing about what we're going to call this San Francisco Grand Slam thing. Slam Francisco is one. We've got Grand Francisco, San Slam Cisco. I'm a San Slam Cisco guy. That's me. So we're talking about that in the chat. We got people a little bit excited for Tarek Skubal, which came out of nowhere. We just concocted that out of thin air. So people saying, stay in Skubal, Skubal House Rock. So we've already got some nicknames. If and when Tarek Skubal wants to come to San Francisco, please do, Tarek, if you're listening. And we got another person, Carlos in the chat says he wants my jersey. This is the Jung-Hoo Lee hooded shirt giveaway that they gave out. So rocking that. It's the perk of being an in-game host, I get all the giveaway items sometimes. Want to talk about the bullpen. I teased it in the first block. I want to talk about it now. I want to talk some pen. I get why people are mad. I get it. I always say it on this show. It's the main axiom on this show. I am not a homer. I'm not a shill. I'm not a homer. I'm an optimist. But I am also a reasonable and reasonably intelligent person. The key word in that phrase is reasonably. That word reasonably is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that. I get why people are upset, and I get why people are upset with the bullpen. 5 games this season, the Giants have had the lead, not tied. They've had the lead in the 9th inning, and they've lost. Second most in the majors. I told you to call. You're calling. I was going to go on a spiel, but let's go to you guys. You guys are the co-hosts. You guys run the show, not me. Mike in San Francisco, you want to talk relievers. Michael, what say you? Welcome to Giants Warm-Up.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing better now that you called. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, was it if the Giants could get Pete Fairbanks from the Miami Marlins trade in a trade, and then if they could get Jax from the White Sox to be our setup man, we're going to probably finish 500 or more, depending on if they decide to keep Luis Ariz or not.
I think if the team continues to trend the way that they're trending, if they stay where they are in the standings, how can I word this? I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Luis Arise was not long here for San Francisco. But you mentioned
was it?
Yeah, but you mentioned
I was just going to say what.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I know. I was just going to say, what could you get for him? What could you get for Arise? Who's an unrestricted free agent? I guess all free agents are unrestricted. So what could you get for Arise? And if they do get rid of Arise, if they trade Arise, Casey Schmidt slots into second base very nicely. But you mentioned Pete Fairbanks, spent a number of years in Tampa. In Miami right now, he's got a 7.41 ERA. 7.41 is pretty high. That's really, really high. So he was a free agent this season, went to Miami. Ryan Helsley, another guy who was in St. Louis, who is now in Baltimore. And you mentioned Jax now in Chicago. I understand why people don't want to, or front offices don't want to spend money on relievers. I get it. Edwin Diaz right now is hurt in LA. I understand why. These are guys that throw one inning half of the season. It's 162 games in a season, 9 innings in a game. A reliever's coming in for 1 inning of a 9-inning game, half the season at most. So you're getting a player who's playing 11% of a game, 50% of the season? I get it. I understand it. And I think that's what happened with Giants. Oh, I don't want to assume like I know what they're doing. But I think the thing that makes our fan base mad or upsets the fan base, and I totally understand why they're upset, is that I think fans looked at the bullpen, at what we had, and it wasn't just fans. There was a lot of people in the media, both locally and nationally. So you got the media and the fans saying, hey, I don't know about this bullpen. I'm not really sure. And bullpens are kind of tricky. Bullpens are tricky because you got a guy like Camilo Duvall in 2021 who comes out of nowhere and is lights out and becomes the closer. Or you got a guy like last year, Randy Rodriguez, who comes out of nowhere and as a setup man, not even as a closer. This is how good Randy Rodriguez was last year. Made the All-Star game as a setup man, which almost never happens. And maybe the front office thought, hey, we don't want to spend the money there. We'd rather allocate our funds to Tyler Mahle and Adrian Hauser and Luis Arise and Harrison Bader. And we could patch it together with the bullpen. And so far in 2026, that has not happened.
Who are the Giants going to be able to trade for that's going to be better than Luis Arise? He's going to win a Gold Glove this year. He's probably going to be the batting champion, and he's going to be an all-star, and he's in the prime of his career.
Yep.
Who are they possibly
going
to get that's going to be better than him?
I think
and if they do trade him, it's going to be like buying a lottery. It's going to be like buying a lottery ticket. Maybe we get something. Maybe we don't. But it's the chance was you already have an established person.
Yes,
who's
correct.
busting his ass for the team.
Correct.
We have the best double play combination in baseball.
Okay.
And and all of a sudden we want to trade the one player that we've got that's the best player on the team in hope. Hope is not a strategy.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Mike, Mike, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I think you feel how a lot of Giants fans feel right now. You said it right now. 4 words, Mike, more eloquently and articulately than anyone else could have said. Better than I could have said, and I talk for a living. Hope is not a strategy. I guess that's 5 words. Hope is not a strategy. I get it, Mike. I totally understand. Now, I want to answer some of the things that you said. Is that Luis Arise, you're right, playing great defensively, probably going to be an all-star. He's 5th in the majors in batting, a .324 average. This is what he does. But he's 29. He's probably going to want a lot of years and a lot of money, which is fine, which he deserves, by the way. But, and I got to go to break, so thanks for the call, Mike. But I will say this. Casey Schmidt is there. Casey Schmidt can slot into second. He's playing left field right now. Elliot Ramos, a former all-star, is on the IL, and I'm very interested to see how the Giants construct their lineup when Elliot Ramos comes back. Because you figure he's going to slot into left. What do you do with Casey Schmidt? If he goes to DH, that means Bryce is on the bench. If he goes to second, that means Arise is on the bench. If he plays first, Devers is on the bench. He could play short and third. That's where Adames and Chapman are. So the Giants have one too many mouths to feed. And I don't know if they want to give money to Arise like that when they have big contracts with Devers, Adames, and Chapman. So there's that. And what can they get? You know, if there's a team that's in it and contending and they need a second baseman, they'll trade for a rental and hope to re-sign him in the offseason. And we've seen the pitching. You know, I think every Giants starter has an ERA over 4. They need some help with starters. The bullpen's lost 5 games in the 9th inning when they've had a lead. They need bullpen help. So that might be where they go. We are going to break. But on the other side, AEW pro wrestler Anthony Bowens, Giants superfan, joins Giants warm-up. We roll on next. We got to pay some bills at Sports Anthony on the Sports Leader.
We're getting you in the mood for a crazy crab sandwich, some garlic fries, a cha-cha bowl, and some orange and black baseball. KNBR's Giants warm-up keeps rolling on the sports leader.
Anthony Garcia, a.k.a. Sports Anthony, here on Giants warm-up. We are counting down to the Wrigley Rubber match tonight, 5:30 p.m. first pitch, right here on the sports leader, Giants and Cubs. Giants trying to go 500 on this 10-game road trip. I am Anthony, and it's time to bring in another Anthony. When you hear Jane's Addiction, it means you're about to get your butt kicked by this man. AEW pro wrestler, former AEW World Tag Team Champion, former AEW World Trios Champion. Sports Leader audience, give it up to Anthony Bowens.
Oh, yes, I'm back, baby.
You are back, and you're back with a vengeance. I probably should have asked you this off air, but whatever. What we were just texting about, can I ask you about it?
Well, there might have been a bench brawl in my Sunday league game, and I might have, stuck up for a teammate, and I might have almost beat up the right fielder. But, it's time to talk Giants baseball. It's time to talk AEW. We need to worry about that.
You're just perpetuating every negative stereotype about pro wrestling. You just got. You know what? You're a good teammate, Anthony. We appreciate that. We appreciate you being a good teammate. You sticking up. Are there usually bench brawls in Sunday leagues?
No, but This was our main rival. We're one game behind them in second place, and they were chirping all game.
Okay.
Crazy play happened, and then things got heated, and I had to step in. So.
It must be really great to have a professional wrestler as a teammate in your Sunday rec league. Anthony, I usually talk to media. I had Casey Schmidt on last week, had a player on that, Dusty Baker on yesterday, who was absolutely fantastic. It's so rare that I get to interview just someone who's a fan, and you're a very, very big Giants fan. What do you feel like? How do you feel the team is doing from afar? You're traveling the world every week, but from not here in San Francisco, a Giants fan who is around the nation, how do you feel about how the team's doing?
Well, obviously it's been up and down so far, and I feel like the team's trying to find their identity. Sometimes they find it, and sometimes it's been a bit torturous. But I'm the type of fan that doesn't give up on their team very easily. It's a very long season. Things can still be turned around. I like to try and stay positive. There's a lot of positive things going on. Jung-Hoo's really, showing out right now with all these hits that he's getting. Devers is starting to fire up. Chappie seems like he's starting to find his stroke again. So there's a lot of things to be positive about. It just can't go doom and gloom too quickly.
Yeah, I am also not a doom and gloom person. I understand that there are fans who are, right? I understand that there are people who, sometimes when the Giants, on Friday, the Giants gave up a couple runs in the ninth. They end up winning 18-3. I know a couple people Giants fans who, why are they giving up runs in the ninth when you're up by 17? So there are just Giants fans who are like that, and whatever, more power to them. It's not how I am. I don't think it's how you are either. But there are a segment of Giants fans who want to blow it up. And there are a segment of Giants fans who want to tear it down and rebuild. Where do you stand on that as a Giants fan?
No, I don't think we need to tear down and rebuild. I think it's just getting the puzzle pieces together, and also recognizing that playing Major League Baseball is very hard, and your stars are going to have ups and downs, and you have to stick with them through those downs. And again, I guess Chapman's a good example. He struggled early on, and he started to come around. He had a grand slam the other day, had 2 home runs. Once guys start to find their stroke, usually they're set. So it's hard as a fan who probably has never played baseball or never, obviously never played Major League Baseball, to understand about those peaks and valleys of a season. But you have to stand behind your players. Now, if everything starts to completely tank, then sure, maybe let's try and guys that are maybe have our guys that are on 1-year deals, maybe we can get some prospects out of it. Then sure, but I don't think we should rush into anything yet.
You mentioned peaks and valleys. Let's talk some peaks. From afar, your favorite moment of the Giants season so far in 2026?
Favorite moment so far? Well, sorry, Giants, it hasn't been much.
Give me something.
Honestly, attending opening day.
Yeah.
I know it was a loss, but I just, for personal reasons, it was my first opening day ever, and as a lifelong baseball fan, which is kind of weird, but just being there and being in that atmosphere was really cool. So that's going to be my favorite Giants moment.
No, we had a lot of fun that day. That was a really great day. Unfortunately, the result wasn't great, but
it was not.
The pageantry of opening day was a lot of fun, and definitely not a good sign of the Giants season that you, a big Giants fan, that were 2.5 months into the season, and your favorite moment was the game that the Giants lost. I am on the side of, and I think you can agree with me, because you're from New Jersey, and you're around a lot of franchises in New Jersey that haven't fared well. Like, you got the Jets, who haven't won since, like, 69. The Knicks, who are in the finals right now, but haven't won a NBA finals in a really long time. The Mets haven't won in years. So I'm the type of Giants fan. We won 3 World Series in 5 years, in 2010, 2012, and 2014. And for me, I feel like that's as good as it's going to get. 3 in 5 years, we won a lifetime of World Series championships in a very small, concentrated amount of time. So there are Giants fans who are upset and they want to win every season and they want to raise the flag every year. But I don't think that's plausible. And I think that we as fans sometimes, the root word of fan is fanatic. I think sports fans sometimes get a little crazy. We're not winning a World Series. What are we doing? Trade everyone, tar and feather everyone. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for being like, hey, we won 3 in 5. This is as good as it was ever going to get? I feel like I may be coming at this wrong.
I like a mix between the two. I don't want to be in a space where it's like, oh, it's never going to happen again. But I also don't want to be in a space where it's unrealistic that we're going to win every single year, Again, I try to be as positive as I can. And I have a feeling the Giants will get back to where they need to be in time. I trust Buster. I want to give Tony a chance at managing to continue to. You can't really base everything off of 2.5 months.
Absolutely.
He's brand new on this level. There's going to be a learning curve. Give him a couple years. After a few years, then maybe we can start having a conversation about, different things. But I'm of the idea that just give people a chance, give the team a chance, and go from there.
I like let it play out. Let it play out.
Let it play out.
Lipo, let it play out. So in professional wrestling, it's funny that you're a big baseball fan, which has just nuts, outrageous fans, and professional wrestling, which also has nuts and outrageous fans. So you're a part of two worlds where the fan bases are just out of their gourd. So fantasy booking is the name when pro wrestling fans, dream up matches or dream up storylines or plots. It's called fantasy booking. So let's put you as a fantasy booker for the Giants. All right, let's say Buster Posey says, Anthony Bones, you are my special advisor. He asks you, what's one thing that you're telling Buster Posey to do? If Buster Posey says, come on in, Anthony, bring you in the front office, what do you think we should do? As a sports fan, as a Giants fan, what's the one thing you're telling Buster Posey?
Right now, I think strengthening the bullpen and the pitching staff. I can't give you names off the top of my head, but I'd be like, we need to concentrate on this. I think our offense clearly, once they put it together, can hit. You've seen it in Colorado. Yeah. We saw it the other day in Wrigley. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just stringing things together and linking the lineup more consistently. But I feel like we've blown a lot of too many games in the bullpen we've blown this season. So I would be telling Buster to focus in on that. How we get there, I don't know. I'm not a finance guy. I don't know trade pieces. Down in the farm system, I probably should be up on top of that more, but that's his job.
All right, so we talked some Giants. Let's talk some pro wrestling. And as it would happen, AEW is coming to San Jose this month, June 28th, the Forbidden pay-per-view at the SAP Center. Tell us about Forbidden Door. Tell us about what's going on in your world in professional wrestling.
Forbidden Door is one of our special pay-per-views of the year. It's a joint production with New Japan, which is Japan's top professional wrestling promotion. And essentially, it's the stars of AEW versus the stars of New Japan. So it's a different type of vibe. It's a different type of feel. We're trying to have brand supremacy at AEW, and it's a chance for fans to see all different types of styles of wrestling, from the American style to Japanese style, and just an all-around fun night. So we're hoping you guys can come down again to SAP Center on June 28th. Tickets are still available on AEWTix.com.
Yeah, there's a Giants game that day at 1 o'clock. Luckily for AEW, let me tell you, you get your bang for your buck. Those pay-per-views, those events go like 4.5 hours. So I think I'm going to get there to the arena in San Jose at like 5:30, and I'll still get 4 hours of AEW wrestling. Anthony Bowens, you're the man. We appreciate talking to you. And hopefully when I see you, when you come out, I'd imagine you're going to be at Oracle Park doing some stuff with us this week. So hopefully when we talk to you that last week of June, the Giants have turned it around and we are streaking towards at the very least 500.
I hope so, and I'm looking forward to it. And next time we're on, we'll talk some Barry Bonds.
Absolutely. And Anthony, please, for the love of God, stop fighting people in your Sunday rec league. You're a professional wrestler. You get paid to fight. Don't fight anyone for free. Come on, Anthony.
Well, tell them to get out of my face, and then we'll talk.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Anthony Bowens, the 5-tool player, one of our favorites here on Giants Warm-Up. We are counting down to first pitch, 5:30 p.m. Next segment is our final segment. No guests. If you want to get on, 415-808-KNBR. I'm going till 4:30. Call me up. Let's talk Giants. It's Sports Anthony on the Sports Leader.
KNBR, the Sports Leader. It's almost time for hot dogs, peanuts, cold beers, and orange and black baseball. Our Giants warm-up rolls on the sports leader.
We are counting down to the Wrigley rubber match, 5:30 p.m., the Giants and the Cubs at Wrigley Field. I know you're listening right now or you're watching me on YouTube. If you're going to watch the game on TV, it's on NBC and Peacock. So just a programming note. Another programming note, since I am the in-game host for our San Francisco Giants at Oracle Park, the Giants return. Today is the end of this 10-game road trip as we listen to some Oasis. Ryan, you seem like a big Oasis guy, yeah? Yeah? Yay? Nay?
Wonderwall's my favorite song.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I can't say the name of the song that just played on the radio, but that was Oasis. Giants return. The Giants return. 6-game homestand tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday against the Nationals. A day off Thursday, and then the weekend series. They play the Cubs again. So they got the Cubs on back-to-back weekends. Programming note, Saturday's game is at 7:05 p.m. and Sunday's game is at 12:10 p.m. So kind of some interesting start times on Saturday and Sunday. Let's take a look at the Giants lineup for today as they take on right-hander Jameson Taillon at Wrigley Field. It's Schmidt, Devers, and Arise at the top. Adames, Lee, and Eldridge in the middle. Bryce is the designated hitter today. And then Chapman, Susac, and Gilbert at the bottom. Daniel Susac drawing the assignment at catcher after Eric Haas started yesterday. This is my last show until August 1. So I've got about almost 2 months that I won't be doing Giants warm-up. So I want to make some predictions. I'm going to make some predictions because I'm not going to be here for 50, 60 days. So I'm going to make some predictions. If you have some predictions, call in. 415-808-KMBR. We have 4+ minutes left, so hurry up. Here are some predictions I have for the next time I host Giants warm-up, which will be Saturday, August 1, when the Giants visit San Diego. Here's what I got. I got 4. Here are my 4 predictions. Prediction number 1, I think, call me crazy, I've been called worse. I'm not a shill. I'm not a homer. I'm an optimist. I think the Giants will be within 5 games of 500 the next time I'm on the air on August 1. That is prediction number 1. I think the Giants will be at least 5 games under 500. They're 13 games under right now. 26-39 through 65 games. There's 97 left. It's not looking good in the standings, I can tell you that. They're 15 games back of the Dodgers, 9 games back in the wild card. But let's try to get to 500. I think they can do it. I think they're too talented to stay where they are in the standings. I think so. And they're starting to, it seems like the offense has woken up a little bit. 3 grand slams on this road trip. Matt Chapman has turned it around. He's got 3 home runs this week. Rafael Devers homered yesterday. Willie Adames had 2 runs in Wrigley, 2 home runs at Wrigley on Friday. Jung-Hoo Lee in the midst of a 14-game hitting streak. So that's prediction number 1. Prediction number 2, we will have the All-Star game in Philadelphia, Tuesday, July 14. I think that the Giants will send at least 2 players to Philadelphia for the All-Star game. That's my prediction. I think the Giants will have 2 All-Stars. I think there are 3 candidates right now. Casey Schmidt, obviously been the best power hitter on the team. Leads the team in home runs and RBI. Casey Schmidt, more home runs, more RBI, better OPS than a man named Shohei Ohtani. So Casey Schmidt, you got Luis Arise, who was 5th in the majors in hitting, has turned himself, with the help of Ron Washington, into one of the best defensive second basemen in all of Major League Baseball. And he's hitting .324, top 5 in average. I think Luis Arise has a shot along with Casey Schmidt. And a sneaky one. A guy who's really come on this last week, Jung-Hoo Lee. 14-game hitting streak. He's 22 for 37 since he came off the IL last Friday, May 29 in Colorado. Something like 27 for 54 during this hitting streak. So if he can keep it up, and he's made a couple great defensive plays, made 2 great defensive catches. I guess there's no offensive catches, huh? I guess 2 great catches. 2 great plays defensively for Jung-Hoo Lee. So I think they'll get 2 out of those 3, Schmidt, Arise, and Lee. Prediction number 3, I think this is kind of like predicting the sun to rise in the east tomorrow. But I think Bryce Eldridge, by the next time I come on, will have a splash hit. I think he's going to park one. Exactly. He's going to park one in the Bay. Bolder prediction, when it's all said and done, in 15, 20 years, when Bryce Eldridge has a Hall of Fame career, and we're sending him to Cooperstown along with Barry Bonds, this is my fantasy, so I'm just going to say that too. Bryce Eldridge will be second all time in splash hits as a San Francisco Giant.
What?
I'm not really going out on a ledge, I feel like there.
What?
Ryan, I'm not really. Shake your head, nod your head.
That's crazy, man.
Okay. All right. We're getting feisty. We're getting feisty here on Giants Warm-Up. I got a minute left. In my last prediction, I think the Giants will make 2 trades. I think by the time I come on, I think the Giants will have made at least 2 trades. Anthony Bowens talked about it. Ahmed Fareed talked about it. There's a couple guys whose contracts are up, and this usually happens if a team is not in it when we get to the trade deadline. The trade deadline this year, Monday, August 3rd. So my next show is 2 days before the trade deadline. There are some names. I don't want to say who they are because I don't want to put it in the universe. They play second base. One is a left-handed starter who's a former Cy Young Award winner. But hopefully the Giants are in a position they can play themselves into not making trades. We'll see what happens. But those are my 4 predictions. If this is something you're interested in, the Giants, according to ESPN Analytics, 47% chance to win today. They are plus 113 underdogs. Want to say thanks to Mike who called in. I want to thank the chat on YouTube. Want to thank my guests, Ahmed Fareed and Anthony Bowens. The pregame show starts next. And as always, put Barry in the Hall of Fame.